What's up, brother?
How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Fantastic, especially being here with you.
Awesome. We've known each other how long now?
Gosh, it's been, I think, over 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's been an amazing
it's been a
journey. Yeah.
while. It's been a long journey.
And here you are now.
Here I am. You know what? It's interesting. When you asked me that question, it's been a pretty interesting journey from when we met, um, of who I was to who I am now. And thank you for pointing that out. But it's been a fantastic process. It really has been.
And where you're at now, I know what's really cool is you have your own brokerage. Yeah.
Super blessed. So I started my new brokerage the first of the year 2025. It's known as TruCore Agency. Fantastic. I would say to look at that, I started in the industry in 2006 as a realtor, and understanding that when one enters this industry, you become an entrepreneur. You, as a realtor, are your salesman, marketing, HR, accounting, salesman, telemarketer,
You're
you name it.
everything.
You're everything. Um, and so what that did for me, it was a great realization that I have to wear many, many hats to be able to accomplish what I wanted to do. And being that I started at the toughest time, the Great Recession in this market, it was an environment that for me it was new, and I knew no other environment. When I before that I heard that money was free. It was free money, which to me didn't make any sense because I never knew free money or even know what that meant. So I came on board and started in the business while everybody was starting to pull back. And at the same time, I thought, well, what have I done coming from a profession that was in the corporate world?
And you were an engineer, yeah?
I'm an engineer, and I'm actually a mechanical engineer. My background is operations, so I actually started the industry. I got my degree at University of Arizona as a mechanical engineer. Ended up getting my master's later on abroad. However, what that did for me, it taught me how to be in operations, how to run a business.
Which is huge when you're starting out as a realtor. And the way your brain works as an engineer is like, I got to get my systems, my processes dialed in. Talk about those for a second.
Yes, what I've learned is that a lot of individuals tend to put the carriage in front of the horse. And for me, I'm very systematic. If you're going to create a house, you have to build a foundation. And then you have to build it from the bottom up. You don't start from the top down. And so for me, yes, as an engineer, I had to shift my thinking as well because what I did, I came in, started putting systems in place that would allow me to run a productive, efficient business. Especially at the time when I started, I had to find every efficient way to run it because there was no money. Everybody talked about short sales, and there was nothing short about a short sale. It took forever to get a transaction done. But for me, I had to bring that mindset into my industry to be able to create processes and systems that were reliable, consistent, and repeatable. So that helped me with that sense. At the same time, I was entering a sales business. And entering a sales business was completely unique. That's what I wanted to do when I was in the corporate world. But I chose if I would like to create an environment that I want to create, a culture, we'll call it that, I would need to start my own business. And so as people start their own ventures, entrepreneurs, you are everything at once. So you have to make sure that you put the horse in front of the carriage. And so right now, you mentioned that, yes, I started TruCore Agency at the beginning of the year, and our focus was immediately to implement the foundation, the systems, so that as we are starting to grow, everything is there for those that join our company and start being part of it. So I take great pride in having a staff that really is very good at their jobs. So everybody plays a very significant role in making sure that things get done and they get done at the most exquisite level. Right now, the company that I've created, TruCore Agency, is a company that, and people may call it white glove. I'm not sure if that makes any sense, but in general, we're here to support with high level of quality, not just great customer service, but great hospitality.
Yeah, I think for people that may not know your history like I do, um, when it comes to your actual real estate team that you have, before you ever started the agency, they had healthcare, they had benefits, they had retirement stuff. There's so much that your agency or your individual team had that was truly a business, and how you've cared for them, how you've supported them both in personal development, because I know I've been blessed to be able to share with your team many times over, and personal development, business development, to watch them grow as a team has been really fantastic. So tell me about that transition from just really extending this very nurturing, very mindful, very beautiful business that you've created out into TruCore with the white glove service. Because I work with a lot of agents, and they can struggle sometimes on the true business side of things. What does that mean at TruCore?
That's actually a very good point. I'm going to take you back a little bit as to how we got where we're at. You mentioned the team I have as a realtor when I began. First of all, we have to do what's the best use of my time. My time, even though I'm an engineer, I'm data driven. The best use of my time was running the business and creating income so that I could create a larger business. So my focus was initially get a staff member, a supporting member that could do the tasks that are not the best use for me to be doing. So with that said, I know that for me to be able to retain, create an environment of a team that is actually consistent, I needed to run it like a business. So from having an accounting firm do my bookkeeping, from because I'm not the bookkeeper and that's not the best use of my time, from hiring my incredible assistant and executive assistant, which is Yolanda, which by the way, she'll be celebrating 16 years with me in February. So that's fantastic. And I will say, everybody in my team, with your point, is because I treat it like a business, the longevity of my employees is really long. There's no
business,
turnover.
but you also treat it like a family.
That's actually a good point. For me, coming from the corporate world, I understand what that environment is like, and it's very profit driven. It's about the bottom line, which for me, I understand because they report to Wall Street, and that's very results. And me as an individual, I am a very results driven person. However, at the same time, I wanted to create an environment that people felt that they belonged, felt that they were part of a family, felt that, and honestly, I wanted to create an environment where it was not just my business, it's their business.
Yeah.
And
I want to add a new
mhm,
slogan for you. Run it like a business, treat it like
treat
a
it like
family.
a family.
Run it like a business, treat it like a family. That's really what you do, is you run it like, because if you're not profitable, you can't pay people.
I cannot.
So you have to run it like a business, but treat it like a family.
And you know what? That's an excellent point, and I'll point out to that. When I first started the team, because it was an individual at first and got my first employee, um, first you have to add payroll, because somebody also has to get Social Security at some point. So you have to have your taxes paid. So you add a payroll business so that you start treating them like a true employee. And then there's us, all human beings want to be and feel that we are important and we are needed and we are loved. And so for me, that's been part of my journey, making sure that my team members feel that they're needed, understood, and they're loved. And the way for me to show that, since I'm a provider as well, but also they have to perform, let's not forget that, and we'll talk about that in a minute, is how do I make sure that they're taken care of? I mean, it's not my job to take them to a doctor or a hospital, but it is my job to provide them the resources that they need to be able to take care of themselves. At the end of the day, they have to take care of themselves, but what am I doing to support that with them? So I ended up adding, like you said, medical benefits to, from dental, vision, life insurance, health insurance, you name it. They were fully covered so that that wasn't part on the back of their mind and a worry, that they would focus on what was the business to be run. So with that said, I saw babies being born, as far as through our health insurance, and seeing families grow and people developing. And at the same time, how can I, as a leader, develop them to be better human beings, to be better employees, to be better selves? And what ended up happening is I was able to grow myself through coaching, through reading, through understanding. And part of that, as I was growing myself, I was able to help those around me grow as well. So what I've learned, I was sharing with others, and that's been a journey from the beginning. The more I learn, the more I share. The more we grow as a company, the more they grow. The more profits we make, the more profits they make. So in turn, they've never felt used. They've never felt extended. Yes, my goal was, as I bring people in, as a leader, you have to put people in the right positions that they love what they do and they can expand in what they do and grow. And so by understanding who goes where, they were able to grow in their field, in their positions, and be very successful. My goal is to allow them to grow, but even if they fail, it's not a failure. It's a learning lesson. So everybody over the years has grown tremendously in their profession. So as an agent, formed a team, treated like a business. We have grown business wise. We created a brand. Now the next level was how do we take it to a whole new level where I can truly be the leader of our brokerage, and that's where TruCore came about.
Yeah. And the mentorship you provided your team is really beautiful. And you've been surrounded by a lot of great people. And so, again, understanding how you're building TruCore, the brokerage, you want to bring a lot of great people in as that support from a business standpoint for the the whole brokerage. Not just everyone rely on you or your knowledge or wisdom. Bring the people that supported you along the way, along with many others that can now support the brokerage as a whole.
I will tell you that it's been an incredible journey where those around me that have allowed me and supported in my growth are now in my life. You, for example, coming into my business to allow those around me to grow as well. So I have brought in coaches, one, you as well, and others that are now supporting our brokerage individuals to actually level up. Um, what I've learned is everybody wants to be better. Everybody wants to grow, at least what I find in my team. That seems to be, they say you attract who you are, not what you want. And so I've been lucky enough to attract some really incredible people in my life. And the attraction has been individuals that are wanting to develop themselves, to grow, to be, higher professionals, to have responsibilities and provide results. And with everybody in my team, I mean, the way I treat my business is I never micromanage. However, we have expectations, we have goals, we have items and numbers that need to be met. And as long as those are met and I'm supporting them to help them to grow to meet those numbers, that's at the end of the day, that's what matters. And they get rewarded just like I want to be rewarded for what we do. And at the same time, because they're being recognized of the great job that they're doing, um, they want to do more. And that's not me pushing them, that's them driving themselves.
So 10 years now we've worked together. For a lot of people in 2025 that I'm not working with, as far as realtors go, say it's been a very, very tough market. Um, and you've heard that too. You're having a great year. A lot of my other clients are having some of their best years, if not their best year. And we're talking big number years, not just, their best year, but big number years. What do you think the difference is in you having a really great year, or a lot of my other clients who are having really great years, versus the people that are not?
I'm a big believer in energy and vibration. And I'm a big believer in you speak what you want as well. And I said earlier, you attract who you are, not what you want. And one of the things for me has been mindset. I've been lucky enough not to be around a lot of individuals that are dwelling in everything that is wrong. I've been in my world knowing that everything is great and believing everything is great and feeling everything is great and the excitement that things are great. So you have to also know that, okay, let's even take it back a little bit further. People need a home. We're in the industry of selling homes. 5 to 6,000 homes sell every month. That means there's two sides to every sale. That's about 10 to 12,000 individuals that are earning a paycheck every month. Why isn't that me? Or why isn't that the other person? So the fact that some agents, some real estate professionals are saying this is my worst year is their mindset is about that, and they're probably because they believe that they're sharing that, and people can read that off. So if there's a potential client that wants to buy from them, they feel that that's not the right time because that's the energy they're projecting. For me, the way I believe is that people talk about rates being high, which they are not very high, but in compared to before, they're higher. My parents bought their first house at over 18% interest rate, so we've seen worse. And I know that people got used to the 3 and the 2%. So the 6.8 where we're at today, whatever, 6.7 seems to be high. My advice to my clients right now is rates will change. We know they will. And when they do, we have so much pent up demand for homes that when they do change,
It's going to go crazy.
it's going to be insane.
And you're going to be overbidding and all that. This is the time to buy.
So for me, the message I tell my clients, I'm like, this is the time to buy. Why? Because sellers need to sell and they've been on the market for 90, 120 days. So guess what? The buyer has leverage. There, you can ask for commissions to be paid by the seller. You can ask for closing costs. You can ask for repairs. You can ask for furniture. You can ask for all kinds of things. And guess what? You will receive it. Once the rates drop and you're competing with everybody else, you're not going to get the best price. As a matter of fact, you're going to overpay. Secondly, they're not going to probably do the repairs you would want them to do. No concessions, no commissions. So you'll end up paying more than what you thought you were paying now. And if you buy now at the current rate and you get the house you truly want and can afford, then you can lower your rate when it changes.
Right. And you'll actually have the opportunity because there's so much selection now.
Absolutely.
I would say one of the biggest things I notice in the difference between the realtors I work with and the realtors that I don't, I would say the biggest difference between the realtors I work with who are having some of their best years ever and the realtors I don't that are really challenged right now, to me, it's really an innocent thing. It's a really intense world out there. And there's a lot of energy, vibration. You talk about energy and vibration. There's a lot of that coming at us all. And we're humans first. And humans first and these deeply wise people second. And if the humanness is strong, it's really tough to counter. So when you're getting pelted with a lot of negativity around you, when the market and everyone else is saying, the news, it's really hard to counter that. And so innocently, realtors are giving their power away to the world, to the market, and feeling like they don't have any control. And it's understandable. And so when I'll talk to a new agent, and I'm like, do you know what percent of you would need to have 2 deals a month? Do you know what percent that is of what current home sales are? It's like less than 0.1%. And when they hear that, they go, oh, wait, what? Yeah, just if you do the math, it's like less than a percent of the market right now of homes being sold is all you need. And so you said earlier, why not me? Why not me? If somebody's going to represent this person, why not me? So it really is innocent. There's a ton of energy, but it also points to why it's so important to do the work, the mental work, the energetic work, to own your truth versus just being given a truth by the world out there, by the market.
Here's what I'll say, Al, and I'm going to kudos to you because working with you has allowed me to learn clearly who I am, identify myself, my energy, my boundaries, what I allow the universe, we'll call it that, the universe to come in. And so because you've helped me and coached me through that process of knowing what I'm allowed and willing to accept, and then what it's not, it's just noise to push that out. I've been able to remove a lot of that. You mentioned noise earlier and negative energy. It's no longer in my ears. I know what I want. I know who I am. I know my vision, meaning what I'm expecting to see. I know what I want to create. I know what I'm going to create. And that's what drives me. And because I'm so clear in understanding what that is, everything else that comes my way is not even an issue. So because I'm so focused and so relaxed, we'll call it that, not bothered by all the stuff and minutia that comes my way, that it's just, if you've seen The Matrix, you just see the bullets coming and you just move gently, and the noise, the feedback, the problems, we'll call them that. For me, they're not. They're really opportunities because there's public out there. The public has challenges that need to be solved. And if you bring the value to be able to solve that
And the
challenge for them,
confidence and the
and the
trust.
trust and the skills and the value. So all of that, knowing that you, in this example, me, I am the best at what I do and I am who you need to help you get to where you need to go. And they see that, they clearly feel that, I'm in. And if I show up shyish, not knowing, not thinking that I can deliver, guess what? That energy is felt and that client is going to go somewhere else. But because I know what my value is, number one, what my resources are, what my skills are, what my background is, and what my results have been, and I can deliver. I've sold over 1,300 homes in my career.
Yeah.
I've seen it all.
Yeah, and it's not just that. What you sell in Paradise Valley
Mm-hmm.
where you live.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You have an investment portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
You have a property management
Company.
company.
Mm-hmm.
And you serve investors, you serve high net worth people, you have a giant business in the West Valley that you serve.
Mm-hmm.
You have such a dynamic, diverse business in a really cool way. So when people hear this, it's not just, you're not just a one trick pony. You're someone who has so much different leverage and dynamicness to who you are.
Here's what I say. I never preach what I've never done myself. You know, we talk about even a property management business. I have properties that I own myself that my business runs. And so the way that I want my homes to be treated, they're in that business so that I know that not only my homes, but every one of my clients' homes gets treated the way my home does. And if any of my properties don't get the service and the results that they deserve, then that's probably happening to others. And so understanding how I do business, I I sell homes. I know what they're looking for. Why? Because I've been there before as well. So you talk about Paradise Valley, you talk about the East Valley, you talk about Phoenix, West Valley. I started in the West Valley and grew all the way across town. And so having that experience of knowing the different markets has allowed me to guide any one of our clients when they tell me this is what I'm looking for. Well, let me show you. And I've been able to deliver that. And not just, I'm not alone. I have a wonderful team behind me as well. So them knowing the quality of hospitality that we're supposed to deliver to our clients, we get referred like crazy.
But again, it's a testament to how you love on your team, true love on your team, how you support them in so many different ways, and they really feel the clear vision. And you bring them along for that vision of not only for the company as a whole, but the team, and then each individual person working on their individual visions. So when somebody in your company gets a message from a client, it's their client.
It's
It's
their
truly
client. It
their
truly
client.
is.
And that's what you're trying to bring to the greater brokerage is that understanding of the white glove service, that understanding of this next level of business mindset, but also positivity and empowerment, which is really, really cool. And I'm really excited for that because I know there are people out there that are still trying to find that place and that support.
Here's what TruCore Agency will bring to our fellow realtors. TruCore has been designed just like I did with my team to support them with coaching, to support them with development, to support them with resources, and also guiding them and helping them find their true core, their true selves. My goal is to support other fellow agents to come in because I believe that once they understand truly who they are, what their true core is, and understand their vibration, you will attract that. You know, you will attract your vibe, your tribe. And so understanding who you are and allowing you to create that self energy, self esteem, because you're being loved, you're being supported, you're being guided, you're being coached. Once you know you, just like me, the rest is noise. You don't let it penetrate, you don't let it come in. And then once you understand that vibe, that who you are starts coming out, you will attract that. It will come to you. And so I find that a lot of agents can just be trying many different things without truly understanding who they are. And people feel that we're energy.
Yeah.
And so understanding that when your energy is all over the place, you are really nowhere.
Yeah, and when they try things, they're not truly invested in
They're
them.
not.
But you said something really cool. It's when they know their true self. When you really understand your true self, you understand your currency.
Hmm?
And we are our own currency in life, but not if we don't know our true self. And so our true self equals our currency. And no matter what field you're in this case, it's real estate. When you know that, people will come and you will create this abundance because you will finally be the currency in your life.
It's interesting you say that because I've heard other agents, right now our industry shifted as of August of last year, where before it used to be commissions were automatically paid by the seller for both parties. Now, as of August 1st of 2024, now every agent, every real estate professional dealing or working with a buyer must have an initial consultation where they have a buyer broker agreement that they determine at that moment that I'm being employed by you and this is the rate I'm going to be paid, even before you go out and show properties. So you understand what percentage of the transaction or an amount you will be paid. People got completely terrified by that.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes back to your point. Do we not know our value? Do we not understand what we're worth? And for me, I have no hesitation of demonstrating, number one, what I'm worth and charging what I'm worth. And guess what? My clients, and sometimes I literally had a client just recently that I gave the buyer broker agreement with a percentage, and she's like, "You're getting paid too little. Add another percent." I was like, "That's amazing." So what energy was I showing? What value was I demonstrating that the person that I was meeting, and I'm not cheap,
Yeah.
basically said, no, you are worth more.
Yeah.
That just shows you. And so it's not, I'm not being braggy or ego. It was also another moment that allowed me to identify, understand, and say, what was it about this presentation I just shared with you? Or what energy did I bring that made that other individual feel that I was worth more than what I thought I was even?
It's a really beautiful thing because when you, again, you just go back to that space, when you really know who you are and you understand your worth from the inside out. It's not like, oh, I do all these things, so I'm worth X. That's an external concept. But I am this beautiful human being that is this wise, loving person. My intention, my care, my wisdom that I get, and I can hold this space for my clients. That's a different level of worth than just I'm going to go show you properties and I'm going to do this, or I'm going to list yours home and I'm going to have all these pictures taken and here's how much money I'm spending. That is a facet. But here's who I am as a person, and here's what I'm going to do from a wisdom and a negotiation. Here's everything I've seen. When I talk to clients or when I talk to agents that I'm working with about the listing appointment, one of the things that I talk about is this is about interviewing them as much as it's about you being interviewed. This has to be an understanding when we are, if we're going to work together, this is a mutual agreement and mutual trust. Here's everything that I'm going to do, but more importantly, here's the experience I want to create. And if you're interested in this, then I want to create this kind of experience with you. But ultimately, it's one built on trust, built on a relationship where we have mutual respect and understanding. And we can have a lot of fun doing this as a result. We'll get to really collaborate together to get the greatest outcome for your home that's being sold. And if that is the priority here, and then of course I have all this experience and all of these tools and resources that I'll use. But overall, it's about what is the greater experience we're going to have, and then how can we utilize everything to get that.
You know, you did a panel a while back for one of the brokerages, and there was a message that was said at that panel presentation that I think was very powerful. One of the comments that was said, there were real estate professionals in there that were working with clients that were just incredibly difficult to work with. What ends up happening is when one chooses, it's a choice, chooses to work with a client that is so difficult because we need the money or we need the paycheck, whatever you may call it, it ends up absorbing so much of your time, so much of your energy that it doesn't leave any room to work with the ones that really are wonderful to work with. So you have to make a choice to let that client go so that it frees you. Because also, when you deal with that person, your energy shifts.